The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough, the woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Bueno, acá empezamos con su capítulo.
Don't move.
Episodio de Ripley's.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around. Oh my God, Mother, what has happened to you?
Muy grosero ese señor, muy grosero.
Who are you?
What? But, Mother!
Who are you?
It's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie. You won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have come
Pues
here.
¿cómo le parece que
Mother,
no?
I don't know what you've been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
I'm here to help you. You have nothing to fear.
If only it were so simple. You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's me, Louis.
Don't speak to me about him. You will never get him.
Mother, stop torturing yourself.
Nunca lo
It
cogerás.
really is me, Louis. How can I convince you?
If you really are who you say you are,
Nunca lo atraparás. Se
what was
traduce.
the saying I taught you?
You've been telling it to me since I was 3 years old, Mother. How could I ever forget it? Always keep your mind logical
And open.
and open.
You knew it. You are smart. You're getting me muddled up. Tell me, rather, whose place were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
Von Borchardt. Porque tiene que ser con R antes de C.
I just told you, you can't trick me. His name was Von Borchardt.
My God, everything is lost.
No seas
then.
grosero.
I
grosera.
refuse to believe
No
it's
seas grosera.
really you, Louis. Otherwise, all this would be for nothing.
Mother, I don't know what happened to you, but don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. I'm here for you, and
No! I ordered you not to come with me.
I received a letter, and Lord Mortimer informed me of your disappearance. So I took the...
No! 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 It's not true. It's a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer. It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Mother, I don't know what you're imagining, but don't worry. Everything will be all right. If you're worried about what I might think about Elizabeth Adams, honestly...
Oh, Louis! Elizabeth is the last of my worries right now. I did what I could for her, but it was too late. Very well. Logical and open, Louis. Since you arrived on the island, has anything strange happened to you?
Depends on what you mean by strange. Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to help her.
I'm sure you did, Mother. I'm not judging you.
You know, what she had to put up with was slowly gnawing away at her. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something of utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's guests have arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Since this morning.
Perfect. The conference will be able to begin.
Indeed. It shouldn't be long and—
Let me finish. We haven't time. You will attend this conference, and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis. Understood?
Right. I'll do what you ask of me. But calm down, please, Mother.
Louis, I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den. Mortimer, Holm, their guests, watch what happens. Do you think it's normal that the representatives of the most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but—
Louis! They shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders.
Lo que precisamente están haciendo ahorita.
Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable of reaching everyone, wherever they may be.
Es un hechizo, el
Through high
COVID-19
society
es un
banquets, they model the future of us all. And it isn't at all an issue for them.
And? What do you propose?
It's time to act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after—
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going. I'm going.
I'm gone.
One more thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and—
Dun, 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 dun.
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Vamos a ir a la salita. Ah, no, esa no es la salita. Es el lugar de conferencias.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
asistí a la conferencia. Esta parte tiene un problema que se ralentifica. Es siempre en esta parte. No sé qué pasa con esta cinemática que siempre se ralentifica. Está lentificada siempre acá. Esta parte siempre es lenta.
Chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I'm convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry. But however...
No ambar.
A fragment of amber.
My son, glad you're here.
Siempre dice my son. Que yo no soy su hijo, mil veces. ¿Cuántas veces le tengo que decir que usted es un tal Giuseppe Piagis, que es un cardenal corrupto? Le he dicho mil veces que no me llame así.
I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Ese Giuseppe Piagis me tiene cansado todo el tiempo. No, la mamá o el que sea que es responsable de Louis es responsable de Louis, no el Giuseppe Piagis, cardenal pervertido.
She's not acting by design, is she? But with respect to any other leading character, I do not imagine is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last, and he could not help answering her, but she said...
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I'm convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is going on between you two?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it. For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you.
Algo le hizo Mortimer a Jack de Perú, que lo tiene vuelto, mire cómo lo tiene iracundo, lo tiene controlado. Pero es que Jack de Perú también es malo porque ha matado niños, ha matado gente, les ha cortado la cabeza a varias personas. Es un revolucionario y pues eso es malo. Entonces, pero bueno, le podemos salvar su vida. Y primero que todo tenemos que seguir investigando qué hay en este salón, en los pisos, en las esquinas.
But with respect to any other leading characteristic, I do not imagine that much. Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well.
You are not alone.
Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Les digo a todos, yo puse subtítulos en español, el juego, el audio es en inglés, lo quería obtener en inglés todo, pero por propuesta de los suscriptores, de algunos suscriptores más que todo, de Ruth, Carlos, Marcelo, Johanna, mucha gente, la mayoría, vieron que en español, por favor entonces lean bien las letricas y todo eso, sobre todo Ruth por favor lee los subtítulos, porque a veces yo les pregunto de qué se trata y dicen que es que la letra es muy pequeña. No, lean los subtítulos en un computador o traten de agrandar el texto. Ahí está la forma para que en el celular le agranden los textos o agranden la imagen del celular o en el computador. Entonces seguimos acá.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation. Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
¿Qué envergadura tiene este proyecto? ¿Hasta dónde va su proyecto? Sigo sin ver qué tiene que ver con todo esto conmigo.
Why spread it over 2
¿Qué
phases?
envergadura?
Why not announce the overall project immediately?
¿Qué envergadura tiene este
Unfortunately,
proyecto?
if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow, they would never sign. Manuel Godoy is perfectly aware of President Washington's appetite. If the United States took Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place in several stages. Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight. fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
I can't say exactly.
My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
I'm sorry about the fate of the King of France, Duke Manuel. However, I'm surprised at your remark. How can a man like me have changed the course of things where a man like you, powerful, capable of influencing international politics, was unable to do any better?
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the East Coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
France is not without fault, but that doesn't take away Spain's responsibilities. You see, Native Americans are being subjected to a veritable ethnic cleansing. Europeans are colonizing their land so that it then belongs to them. The widespread evangelization of its inhabitants will soon eradicate a multitude of cultures. You've done the same thing in South America. How far will white people go? Reservations to pin them in like cattle? Total genocide?
Come now, my friend.
Este imbécil del Piegui, mira la pendejada que dice.
Anyway, these primitive people
Este
have no
Giuseppe Piegui es un
souls.
pendejo, un idiota, el
We
cardenal es un
bring the
estúpido
good
ese.
word to
Idiota.
them in order to save
Cardenal Piegui es pendejo.
You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits too.
Mire lo que es ese
Excuse me,
pendejo.
if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue.
¿Cuál eminencia? ¿Cuál
Duke Manuel,
eminencia? Cardenal
I
pendejo.
believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protege. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
If I were you, Senor Godoy, I would think twice before stirring up a scandal.
I beg your pardon?
Given the size of your colonies, you won't be able to keep them for long. A number of countries are eyeing them as we speak. The United States would have no trouble taking them. For all intents and purposes, you have no army in place. By wanting to keep everything, you risk losing it all, especially your colonies in South America, which are far more valuable to you.
That is indeed the danger, Duke Manuel. If it comes to war over Louisiana, you will lose. And probably a good deal more than you now imagine.
Young man, you are indeed a dark horse, aren't you?
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George.
Parece una marioneta.
Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and...
Este cardenal pendejo otra
I should
vez.
think Monsieur de Richet
Diciendo
has an
idioteces.
opinion on this subject, does he not?
If France took the Papal States, their opinion over the sale of Louisiana would be definitely resolved.
Good Lord. You are talking of an invasion of Italy.
Don't take it the wrong way, Your Eminence. Colonization brings with it many benefits.
Tome pa' que llegue cardenal pendejo.
Very funny, Monsieur de
Sí,
Richet.
demasiado chistoso. ¿Cómo le parece, cardenal
Mi
imbécil?
auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
No nos tiene que educar, grandísimo cardenal imbécil. Pendejo, va a tocar cascar el cardenal, ojalá se pudiera, pero no se
This
puede.
pretentious young
Cogerlo
man
a patadas
some
al
manners, Sir
cardenal.
Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will
El
agree.
vestido
Ik
de
visste grejen, Emily.
Emily le traspasa la silla.
Baron accepteren.
Todavía le falta mucho a las gráficas de este juego. Porque primero la barba de Lord Mortimer le traspasa el cuello le traspasa el mentón. Los vestidos traspasan las sillas.
Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Gigolo real.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Me quedo.
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God,
Ya se empezó a trabar
what
otra
is
vez.
this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest
Y ahora
in
las baterías
transfer
del
labor,
control.
and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
Pero un segundo pongo las... Conecto el control. Espérese un segundo que es que... Ay. Un segundo. Ya.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
Mr. President, Lord Mortimer intends for you to conquer all the North American continent. He's relying on you to not stop at Louisiana, but to continue to push west.
Indeed, it would be dishonest to pretend that this is not my final objective.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So, Home doesn't see it coming. But by the time it dawns on Senor Godoy, it'll be too late because he'll realize that he's just lost all the North American continent. We all know that you won't stop once the path is cleared before you.
What do you mean?
You see, Monsieur Peru, it's very likely that once Louisiana becomes American, President Washington will push out even more and take the West Coast.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can I be of
services?
help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many. The closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence. So, I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Signor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
If you believe that's the best way, then...
Nevertheless, I wouldn't bring up all the habits and customs of the court with him too much. I sense he's on edge at the moment. I doubt he'll be able to abide by the rules of etiquette that befit his rank.
Thanks for the advice.
However, it must be done for the conference tomorrow morning. It's important, Louis.
I'll go straight away.
No toca ser ni protocolario,
Get some rest off.
ni decente, ni educado. Toca con Godoy, toca ser fuerte y al grano. Entonces, primero que todo necesitamos ver si acá hay más.
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Vamos a ir a algunas alcobas, algunas habitaciones a buscar cosas importantes. Como sabemos que Wolner está buscando al señor Godoy, entonces vamos a investigar la alcoba de Wolner. Voy a salir por acá porque...
Honey, the remedy of the gods. Amber.
Recordar que hay un ámbar ahí. Deben recordarlo. Luego necesitamos esto que está acá al frente, esto de ahí. Y por el momento vamos a leer este libro.
The Great Work of the Soul by S. Madone. Pure alchemy is a thought, an art that is performed on the matter of the soul. Great alchemists work to transform and perfect the latter by a series of processes known as the Great Work. There are 4 phases to attain the ultimate in spiritual fulfillment.
Melanosis.
The human soul must descend, be corrupt, in order to become decomposed. It's something like what I felt when I think of what I found out about my mother.
Leucosis.
The soul broken up must be purified by the alchemist. Nice program.
Santosis.
The soul must be transformed in order to attain sublimation by the recombination of the alchemist. It's tempting.
Rubedo.
Thus ends the great work. The incarnation of the purified spirit, the elevation of the soul, now become perfect. Its resurrection, thanks to the action of the alchemist. Except if the alchemist has bad intentions, then it's called manipulation. Very metaphorical as occult theories go, the human spirit being the prima materia of the alchemist.
Necesito ver otra cosa aquí por acá, se me olvidó. No.
Golden elixir.
Querido Johan, me alegra que haya decidido venir. Estaba seguro de que aceptaría mi invitación, a pesar de los riesgos y de conocernos muy bien. Aunque hemos superado numerosos obstáculos juntos, no puedo ocultar mis temores esta vez. Los asuntos que debemos tratar son clave. Que se una a nosotros, Johan, es un factor valiosísimo. Siga trabajando duro y estaríamos más orgulloso y satisfecho. Espero verlo pronto de nuevo. Gregory H. Habitación de Perú. Tú quiero hablar con Perú. Ya me acordé que tengo que sacarle mucha información.
Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off, and his door is ajar.
Que se puso desquiciado porque está como loco, porque está todo asustado, porque ya descubrió cómo es Lord Mortimer. Aquí ya sacamos todo.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the
Eso ya lo vimos,
right.
sí.
I've retrieved everything.
A ver. Aquí lo leímos alguna vez, pero lo volvemos a leer. Mi querida niña Eleonor, me gustaría compartir contigo mis pensamientos más tranquilos del momento. No hace falta que te diga lo mucho que te he hecho de menos, en cuanto me arrepiento de haberme separado de ti. Pero sé que serás virtuoso y valiente y que estarás a salvo con tu hermana Mary Ellen. Nunca podré enmendar mis errores, pero ahora sé cómo mantenerte a salvo de sus consecuencias de una vez por todas. Ten siempre presente mi devoción y mi cariño paternales. Nunca dudes de ellos, pase lo que pase. Debes saber que todo saldrá bien al final. Me aseguraré de protegerte, cueste lo que cueste, así que mantén la confianza y la serenidad en tiempos de dificultades. Con todo mi amor, tu orgulloso padre. Ahorita vamos a terminar de ver una cosa y les recomiendo que hagan lo que yo hago acá. Que recojan y vean todo lo que hay.
Amber crystals.
Es necesario haber venido aquí antes de ir a donde Godoy, porque uno descubre cosas importantes y hace hablar al señor Perús, ya de Perús, y tiene que usar algunas formas de convencerlo. Entonces uno se tiene que quedar. Les voy a decir lo que tiene que hacer.
Leave me, Dorishe. I don't feel like talking.
Tiene que preguntarle por el estado de su habitación. No le pregunten eso. Tienen que preguntarle Quedarse aquí callado. Tiene que decir quedarse aquí callado.
Are you gonna keep sticking to me like glue? Hell's bells, I don't deserve this. There's nothing you can do for me.
What's going on? Maybe I can help.
Not anymore, you can't. Not against him. But thanks for the offer.
Who are you talking about?
You know very
Lord
well.
Mortimer.
Lord Mortimer? You talk as if you were in danger, monsieur. Has he threatened you in any way?
I'm done for, Monsieur de Richet. I played with the devil, and I lost.
Entonces ahora hazle hablar, Louis.
Don't you think it would be good for you to shed your burden?
That is my intention.
Psicología. Vulnerabilidad aprovechada. Jack de Perú.
You're afraid of talking about it.
Entonces ahora miedo por otros, miedo por sí mismo, miedo por mí por si habla conmigo, miedo por otros.
You're protecting someone who is dear to you, and apparently you're prepared to die for that person.
Twice over.
Por la hija.
Afraid for your daughter?
What are you? Be careful, de Richet. Be very careful what you're about to say if you don't want to go flying off the balcony! What do you know about her?
Nothing apart from the fact that you love her and you're saying goodbye to her. I read your letter on your desk.
I ought to get rid of you.
Perhaps I can help you.
The hero syndrome. You always think you can fix things. She will be safer far away from me. That's it. What's more, no one must find out where or who she is. Is that clear?
Perfectly. But why say goodbye to her? She must still need you.
The only thing she needs is for him never to find her. Time is short, Louis. Follow my advice.
El tiempo es oro, su pueblo gana.
Find her if she's still alive, and get out of here. Flee this damned island.
Pues es lo que quiero hacer, pero
Are we in danger?
You've been
primero
in
toca ver
danger
otras
since the minute
cosas.
you set foot on this rock. He wants you. He's sizing you up. He is circling around you. It's blindingly obvious. And you, flattered as you are, will soon be running around for him just to keep your place among his precious few. It feels so good to be accepted by him. You will experience power, wealth, glory. He will give it all to you until one
He will give it all to
you
you.
feel so eaten up inside that you will no longer know who you are. You will find yourself void of all conscience, of all freedom. You can no longer look at yourself in the mirror without feeling sick.
Refuse, I tell you. From now on, say no. No!
Look,
No.
I'm sorry for what happened on the night you arrived. You're a good man, Louis. You look after yourself. As for me, I shall take back my freedom tomorrow morning. I'm through with it all.
There you go. Back in the saddle. I'm glad to hear it.
Come on. It's late. I'd like to get some rest.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
¿No puede entrar a la de Emily? No. Ahora me voy a la de... Ahora me voy a ir al comedor, pero primero voy a ir a la de... Godoy. Godoy, primero la de Godoy. Ah, no, Godoy está en el comedor.
My dear Napoleon.
Ah, que está la de Napoleón, no me acordaba que estaba en la de Napoleón. Me tengo que volver por la de Jack de Perú. Claro. Eso.
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Estimado Monsieur Bonaparte. Ah, la carta de... Sí, ya me acordé.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it'll give you a real boost.
Y acá está la carta. Ay, la embarré.
The Beaucaire dinner. It hasn't been signed yet, but there's a letter with it.
Leer la carta. Como le prometí, aquí tienen las páginas que le recomiendo que publique en los próximos meses. En los próximos meses, ambos sabemos que la falta de tiempo le ha impedido redactar estas líneas sostenido. Sin embargo, reflejan sus ideas. No debe sentirse en deuda, pues el éxito será suficiente para traer el bien a todos.
So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal. It isn't signed. That's some quality paper. And that handwriting, I'd say it's Mortimer's. So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal.
Ahora me tengo que ir al comedor, ¿cierto? Pero primero también tengo que ir a donde Wolner, por si acaso. Ah, no, donde Wolner ya fui. Tengo que ir al comedor. Entonces, pero primero tengo que ver también aquí esto. Ahí no hay nadie. Y acá me encuentro con este señor.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Oh, now wait a minute. Yes, I remember now. I think I saw him in the garden.
In the garden? No, you must be mistaken. I've just come from there. I would have seen him.
Oh, I must have seen someone else then.
Most certainly. Oh well, he's bound to turn up at some point. I'll wait.
Impossible to get through with him glued in front of the door. I'll have to find another way into Godoy's room. Duke Manuel Godoy. Duke Manuel Godoy.
Sí, voy a ir al comedor. Al comedor. Al comedor de... y ya. Pero no me acuerdo si es por acá. No me acuerdo si es por ahí. Aunque yo ya más o menos me acuerdo de las cosas de esa mansión, de las cosas que tiene la mansión, pero Ay, tengo que ir por el ámbar del otro lado de la biblioteca. Y me tengo que acordar qué es lo que le tengo que decir.
Duke Manuel?
Well, well. Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might well turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
Vulnerabilidad. Inmunidad. Porque va a vencer. Porque va a vencer a Jorge.
Oh, it's really quite simple, you know. Whose place are we at? Who can manage to bring together so many influential figures under the same roof?
Technically, Sir Gregory brought more guests than Mortimer.
Yes, but in whose name? Who organized the party, Senor Godoy? Who pays the bills? And you are forgetting something fundamental. Who has the biggest army nowadays?
Yes.
There's no shame in admitting that France is militarily superior to you. That's why you're considering joining forces with other European countries in order to confront us.
I agree that Mortimer does have some powerful assets.
Some power.
Do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
I'm convinced that Spain could get a very, very tidy price for the territory.
Were you sleeping during the conference? Did you not hear Lord Mortimer ask me to cede it free of charge?
Yes, but you...
No. You listen, young man. Do us a favor and
Voy a
stop
perder
poking
aquí.
your nose into grown-ups' business. You are wasting my time. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
If you continue with home, our two countries will become rivals. It could turn into war. Who knows?
It is likely even.
A war, Duke Manuel. On our
A war,
territories.
Duke Manuel.
Do you really see yourself committing the Kingdom of Spain to an armed conflict against France? Can you imagine the financial investment required, not to mention the loss of lives and dishonor at the slightest defeat? Do you see yourself being the man responsible for that?
No, but you are the one who's pushing me into it, you damned Frenchman!
I'm not pushing you into anything, Duke Manuel. If you are a man of the future and of progress, as I'm given to believe, you will know how much suffering a war would bring.
Come on, you fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Cónsul. Rasgo desbloqueado. Cónsul.
I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted.
You can count on me.
You know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke.
See you tomorrow. Well, that's one thing out of the way. The only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
No es pues que era un tipo que no hacía muchas cosas y mire, estaba feliz ahí tocando piano, tiene sus buenas, ¿sí ve? Sus buenas cualidades. Ahora tengo que averiguar si puedo coger los dos cosos de ámbar que están en el otro extremo Del otro salón, sí. Bueno, ahora vamos al otro salón. Al de allá. A ver. Ah, no, pero está cerrado. ¿Y tipo quién está por ahí? No sé. Entonces ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es subir. Ah, no, pero podemos entrar por el otro lado. Pero bueno, por el momento va a ser lo de Godoy. Ir a la alcoba de Godoy. ¿De Godoy dónde está? Bueno. Ahí está la de Jack de Perú. Esta es la de Warner. Y por acá a la derecha nos encontramos con Warner, que le está tocando a Godoy. Pero entonces le vamos a decir que está en el comedor. ¿O no? Vamos a decir que no está.
Monsieur de Richet,
que no sabemos.
You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
Sí, en el comedor.
I just ran into him. He was heading for the dining room.
Ah, thank you.
Listo, entonces ahora vamos a entrar acá. Típico, van a hablar y van a decir unas cosas y le vas a persuadir de que no piense lo que yo le dije, que no, la embarré, pero necesitaba sacar a ese Warner de ahí, digo yo. Entonces aquí hay varias cosas. A ver, primero cogemos que hay acá.
Don Quixote.
Lo de Don Quijote.
Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Sí, es verdad. Agua del Carmen. Una moneda aquí. Eso, acá. Hay otra cosa por aquí. Una librería. Amber, qué bien. Ese ámbar no lo había visto nunca en esta habitación. Muy bien, vamos a entonces ahora a coger esto otro que hay acá. Este tampoco lo había visto ahí. Vamos a ir a lo del retrato. Y un libro que hay acá, este libro. Señor Duque, aquí tiene la información que ha obtenido nuestro servicio de inteligencia. Puedo confirmar sin lugar a dudas que el señor ahí está trabajando en un acuerdo con Gran Bretaña. El objetivo parece debilitar la economía francesa y en secreto también la española, mediante la confiscación de mercancía en alta mar. Nuestros fondos públicos ya se resienten debido al embargo de los productos alimenticios franceses, por lo que un tratado como este acabaría con nuestras colonias. No me cabe la menor duda de que encontrará pronto una solución diplomática. Quedo a la espera de instrucciones.
Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke.
Observar el cuadro.
Hey, it looks like someone slipped something in the back here. It's a letter. Let's see what it says. It reeks of perfume, and it's written in Spanish.
Y ahora la tengo que traducir.
Boy, you really are a little devil.
Y la traducimos.
So, let's see what it says.
Es una carta de amor a Pepita. Mi delicada Pepita, me siento muy culpable por estar tan lejos de ti. De nuevo. Aunque sea para el bien de mi país, me siento fatal por haber tenido que marcharme tras una estúpida discusión, ya que eres la única mujer a la que amo, Josefa, para siempre. Ya te lo he dicho antes, Todo lo que tengo, todo lo que puedo ofrecerte, se lo debo al afecto de la reina. Sigamos unidos, por favor, incluso en el sacrificio. Por nosotros y por nuestros futuros hijos. Deja de ponerte celosa. Tú eres la única que ocupa mis pensamientos. Todo lo demás es un juego, te lo juro.
It seems that the Queen isn't the only one enjoying the Lord Duke's favors. If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know.
Ahora salgamos a ver qué hay afuera. Aquí hay otra moneda. Ya pues. Aquí qué habrá. Ah, mire.
Devil's Thorn.
Devil's Thorn. ¿Qué es esto? Ni idea. Esta es mi alcoba prácticamente, ¿cierto? Bueno, es que queda al lado de la de él, ¿cierto? No me acuerdo. Ah, no, la de Piagui es la que queda al lado de... ¿A qué otra alcoba me voy a ir a meter a ver cómo son las cosas? Vamos a ir abajo a la biblioteca de... Ah, mire, que hay acá. Ah, un cuadro, ya. Sí, es al lado mío. Se queda. La de Piagui queda por acá. No me acuerdo dónde queda Piagui, pero mire, queda la de Godoy y al lado la mía. Y por acá queda la del señor Piagis. Pero primero voy a buscar una cosa. Voy a bajar. Esta es la mía, sí.
That's me.
Y esta es la de Piagis.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piagis.
Que nunca abre esa. Nunca abre. Esta puerta nunca se ha abierto tampoco. Y tengo que bajar. Aunque necesito saber qué hay acá. Voy a ver más cosas aquí, a ver. Porque no había vuelto a revisar nada por acá. Alcanzar.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Devil's Thorn. Y aquí es lo que yo tengo que ver. Usar. Aquí tengo que buscar otra cosa que tengo. Se me olvidó apartarse porque por ahí hay una llave que está en el otro lado, ¿cierto? Por acá está la llave, creo que está en la chimenea. Eso. Salir.
Portrait of George Washington.
Y ya abrimos esto con la llave que cogimos de la chimenea.
Locked.
Usar la llave pequeña.
The President's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, you can't go without it.
Y una carta.
There's also a letter.
Estimado señor presidente, le envío mi respuesta con la mayor brevedad posible. Hablamos de este asunto antes de su partida, pero veo que la situación no ha mejorado. Le pido que siga mi consejo y deje de consumir laudano, de inmediato. Estoy buscando un sustituto, pero me temo que no está dispuesto a esperar. El consumo excesivo podría afectar negativamente a la posibilidad de asegurar su próximo mandato. Su adicción está perjudicando el ejercicio de sus funciones. Amigo mío, su adicción. Me temo que no tengo más remedio que suspender su dosis diaria. Lo lamento atentamente, Dr. W. Tom. Y ahora voy a ir a ver una cosa en el otro extremo de la librería. Tengo que bajar. Voy a ver si hay algo. No, pues espérese un segundo. Sí, tengo que bajar. También tengo que ver qué tal que estén en el comedor ahí hablando Wolner y el señor Godoys. Los tengo que ver. Claro. Primero voy a ver a la parte del extremo del otro salón donde hay una biblioteca pequeña que es como un pequeño lugarcillo. Acá creo que es donde está. Primero voy a ver qué hay acá. Y luego me voy al otro extremo. Creo que acá es el comedor, ¿cierto? Voy a ver si están hablando. Ahí sigue tocando piano. Pero Wolner no está. Wolner no está, entonces vámonos por acá. Wolner no le llegó al fin allá. Se suponía. Quería haberle llegado allá. Y allá todavía está cerrado. Eso es que Gregory Holm estaba haciendo cosas con Emma o con Emily. Porque mire. Va a preguntar, mire.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
¿Quién está dentro?
I'm looking for someone. Tell me at least who's in there so I don't needlessly go looking around for hours.
Duchess Hillsborough is speaking with Sir Gregory, sir.
¿Hablando? Sí, cómo no.
Through the other side.
¿Cómo? Otra vez.
I'm looking for someone. Tell me at least who's in there so I don't needlessly go looking around for hours.
Duchess Hillsborough is speaking with Sir Gregory, sir. The other guests have gone back to their rooms through the other side.
Why do you ask?
Sir Gregory's orders, sir.
Very well. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Es que hablando, sí, cómo no. Ya que sé más o menos como convence a la gente la señora Emily o Emma, pues uno no sabe si en verdad está hablando. ¿Cierto? A ver. Acá, listo. Voy ya a dormir. Pero yo quería buscar las dos otras cosas de ámbar que están en la salita. Y aquí, sí, acá está. No hay nadie, no, pues lógicamente está cerrado. No puede uno entrar porque no. ¿Y este quién es? A ver.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Sí. Ahí ya va a estar. ¿Será que ya? No, Manuel de Godoy está en el comedor, yo ya vi. Acá está mi alcoba. Listo. Ya. A ver. Me encontré con Emma o con Emily. No sé con cuál será.
You're here.
Y ya se empezó a trabar el video.
I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir.
Ha conseguido penetrar mi armadura.
That's not what I said.
By the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
There's no point trying to persuade me. Don't hold it against me.
Of course not, silly. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Pues yo digo que quería decir que no, pero voy a decir que sí.
Of course, Emily.
Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us before it's too late.
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well, as you wish. It's up to you to decide.
Tell me,
It's up to you.
are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes, and
It's up to you.
My sister doesn't normally disappear like she does. Any news of your mother?
Hablarle sobre Emma, contarle que ha visto a Sara, mentirle.
I haven't had a minute to myself, what with the disappearance of Elizabeth and then the conference. Yes, I hope to continue my investigation tomorrow.
Do you have any leads?
No, not really. That's the problem.
Too bad. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here.
Pues si usted toma la iniciativa, perfecto.
Of course, it's late.
Eso está bien
You're
que tome
right.
la iniciativa, es algo bueno, es algo que me gusta de las mujeres que tomen la iniciativa, eso está muy bien. Pero no sabemos cuál sea. Si Emma o Emily, pues esperemos que sea Emily, pero no creo que sea Emily. A lo mejor sea Emma.
Come, Louis.
No sabemos bien qué pasa. No sabemos, nos confunden estas señoras. Estas señoras nos confunden.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with
Se volvió a trabar otra vez el video.
but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you
¿Sí ve?
think about
Me va a tocar abrir la ventana para que entre fresco y enfríe el aparato.
He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough, why isn't she here?
She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her.
What are we going to do about Washington?
He will be a hard nut to crack on our chessboard. He is Mortimer's king.
Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing: to keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved.
Ah, pero entonces el Godoy dejó de tomar de tocar en el piano y se fue donde estos.
It will be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now.
Gosh. Se puso rudo Gregory Home. En esa parte estaba pezuño el Gregoris. El Gregoris. Bueno, el agua de Carmen me queda para... Menos mal que tengo un agua de Carmen. La necesito para
Emily?
alguna cosa importante.
Emily? Are you there?
Siempre se va Emily o Emma. No sé, uno no sabe todavía.
Typical. There
Sí.
she goes again.
Siempre se
What's
va.
with this habit of hers of taking off in the middle of the night?
Y lo peor es que es muy chistosa ella. Llega, hace lo que tiene que hacer y no habla del tema. Y evade con otros temas la situación.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
Es una mujer que dice que va al grano, pero no es toda... Da muchos rodeos. Tengo que hablar primero con Jack de Perus. Ah, no, me va a sentar de
My
una vez.
friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Luke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Calm, Gregory.
Good eye?
Impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
¿Qué tal eso, sí?
What is he doing? If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing and trying to win over guests last
Era lo que yo les estaba diciendo, ¿sí ven?
Friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking?
¡Oh, pathetic!
Quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and
My Lord Duke that.
you know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Bueno, aunque Jack Peru sea asesino, guillotinador y toda esa vaina, toca hacer algo al respecto con esta situación. Entonces vamos a...
For everything you've
A ver,
done over the years.
¿qué sucede?
But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jack, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Vulnerabilidad.
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things!
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can
Vamos a ver cómo nos va por primera vez con este señor.
Believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need. I'm sure we can work things out.
But you don't know him.
Let's stay united, Jack. He's nothing without us.
Really?
Trust me. Come on, Jacques. Stop now, before it gets any worse. Give me the gun, please.
I wasn't gonna fire at anyone, you know.
I know.
Uy, qué bien. Uy, qué bien. Por fin.
You're safe now, Jack.
Por fin me fue muy bien. Yo nunca había hecho esta parte así bien. Le salvé la vida y además no me disparó.
Seriously hurt someone if Monsieur de Richet here hadn't stopped you. Your behavior is unacceptable. You would do better to go and rest in your apartment.
Yo siendo Jack de Perú me iba de la isla inmediatamente.
My friends, we
Aprovechen,
shall
pero no.
continue the conference later. would like to apologize for the inexcusable behavior of my guest. We all need to recover from all of this excitement. Take the rest of the day off.
Maravilloso. Genial. Pude hacer lo que tenía que hacer. Superado, he decidido seguir a Lord Mortimer. He participado en la conferencia. He convencido a Manuel Godoy. No he permitido que Lady Hillsborough me convenciera. He descubierto que Jack Perú haría cualquier cosa por su hija. He salvado a Jack Perú. He descubierto que Lord Mortimer tiene un papel que desempeñar en el ascenso de Napoleón Bonaparte. He descubierto que Sir Gregory Hall y Von Wollner están muy unidos. He reconfortado a Sarah Richel y me he acostado con Lady Hillsborough. Es ese episodio 3, episodio 3 que se llama... Episodio 3 se llama Ripless y parte 1, el Cónclave, y caminos alternativos podría haber permitido que Lady Hillsborough me convenciera y podría haber seguido a Sir Gregory Hall. Y bueno, y acá terminamos el Cónclave, muy felizmente. Esperen el próximo vídeo. Y recuerden mantener sus promesas. Mantengan sus promesas. Cumplan lo que prometen. Y no hagan las cosas. Bueno, nos hablamos, no sin antes decirle: no califican por corral, no califiquen por número, no compitan con los demás, compitan con ustedes mismos. Y que estén muy bien. Y acá vamos a primero validar unas cosas. Antes de terminar acá esto, tin, y tin. No sé si venga el libro. Aquí para un libro, no sé. Sonó el WhatsApp, pero ahorita contesto porque estoy grabando. Ya voy para allá. Recuerden que en YouTube y en otros equipos ustedes pueden aumentar la imagen y ver el texto más grande. Talento desbloqueado, veterano.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us celebrate Louis's courage. He enabled us to avert a tragedy.
Yes, that was very noble of you, Louis.
You have given us all a fine lesson in courage.
Thank you.
He owes you his life. That's quite something.
That madman deserves to die.
We are providing Monsieur Peru with care, but rest assured, he is no longer a danger to himself or anyone else. I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Bueno, vamos a equipar el libro. ¿Cuáles libros? 3 libros tenemos entonces a nuestra disposición. Tenemos la enciclopedia de Denis Diderot, Angèle Ronde d'Adenberg. Tenemos Nobleza de la Espada, Francisco Lones de Rada. Normas de Unidad de Conducta Decente, Tratado sobre Educación destinado al Colegio Jesuita de la Flecha. ¿De qué? ¿De la Flecha? De la Fleché. De Humani Corporis Fábrica, Andreas Basalius, 1543. Libro seminal y referente a absoluto de la anatomía humana. Discurso del método. Y Evelina. Y acá política. Y acá esto, Nobleza a la Espada. Listo. Ahora aquí. Bueno, hasta aquí. Ya el próximo video. Próximo video.